right? So we started by doing an analysis. First of all, we thought, why? So why are we teaching those kids to learn business? What's at stake here, right? So entrepreneurship is good for the economy, right? So if we can foster entrepreneurship from an early age, we will see in the long run an economic impact in society. More and more people nowadays are becoming autonomous, right? They are working on their own. So these people, they need to know the skills that will enable them to succeed in an autonomous way, as opposed to being an employee. And at present, the teaching of business is really poor in our schools. So this is why we want to come up with a platform that can enable all these drivers here. So what we are attacking here, the problem we are attacking is fostering business education at early age using technology. We divided this into age, what business means, the emerging technologies that we can use, and the interactions that these kids are having with technologies. When we think about age, we're thinking about our customer segments, right? So we divided them into little kids that are 3 to 6, kids that are 7 to 12, and teenagers that are 13 to 18. Those 3 segments have very different needs. They are engaged in different ways, and they are ready to learn different business skills at each age. So we focus here on those 3 segments, and in terms of little kids, they are mostly playing with toys, watching cartoons, and they are dependent of their parents still. When you come for kids from 7 to 12, they are starting a process of individuation. They are listening to music. They are starting to engage in social networks, and they're playing online games. And then when we come to teenagers, then it's where their individuation process becomes to a peak, becomes to a maximum. They're trying to really be special inside their circle. They're trying to show their value, right? They're trying to impress the girls or the boys and so on and so forth. When we come to business, then we realize that there are different skills that these kids should be learning, right? There's entrepreneurship, there's finance, there's social entrepreneurship, there's marketing strategy, talent, design, and trade. Okay, the basics of trade, basics of economy. Then we come to emerging technologies. What we can see is that nowadays we have virtual reality emerging. We have mobile that is here for a while, but it's certain that to stay. There's a tendency to gamification. There's augmented reality, and there's 3D printing. And finally, the interactions these people are having are through cartoons. Those kinds of cartoons that you see on YouTube, they are happening through apps. They are happening through games such as massive online games. We have mobile games. We have those platform-based ones such as PlayStations and computers and so on. You have social media. You have online courses, and you have all those devices: PC, tablet, smartphones, and whatnot. Right. So now, how all these tie in together?
So yeah, thanks for explaining the analysis part. Now I'm going to just give you a brief overview of our entire solution. So as you can see here, so what the problem that we are trying to attack is teach business to young kids, and we divided the kids into 3 sections. One is so one is little ones, where we are going to focus more on showing them videos about business and finance. And the second category is schools, which is primarily from kids from 6 to 12, and we are going to primarily target some kind of business simulation games. Using that, we are going to impart the business education. And finally, teenagers. For teenagers, we are going a little bit further, where we plan to give an incubator space where they can try out ideas and come up with their own business. And this is our idea. And these are our key stakeholders who are going to enable us to implement our idea. So we have the VCs who are going to invest in these kids' ideas, and we have governments in order to enable us in terms of cash and other resources to implement this solution, and the incubator space, which consists of people who are willing to come up and mentor these kids. So this kind of gives you the overall picture. And now we will explain to you how we try to implement this.
Yeah, so overall, Pedro and Satish have already talked to you about the 3 customer segments. What are the 3 different products we'll have for each of the customer segment depending on their different needs. So the main thing that's left is really talking about how this is going to be sustainable, how this is going to be scalable, and how this is going to be a business that can sustain itself. So when we talk about the little kids, the main videos that they are looking at, so that's going to be supported through ad revenue. So hundreds of products, food products, beverage products that are really marketed towards young kids. So those are going to be advertising, and that's where the revenue stream is going to be coming from. If we look at the next level of kids, 7 to 12 years old, who are really looking at games, and whether that's through an app or whether that's through augmented reality thing, depending on where you are in the world. So revenues there are mainly going to be based on buying the game. So you could have a 99 cent, $1.99, something like that, where you actually pay for the game. And the third reason for the teens is going to be real incubation experience, where as you get to the teenage, you already have some ideas, you know, maybe I could do this, make money, maybe I could do this, make money. And you actually receive mentorship and guidance from advisors who are already in business, even better if it's related business, and they tell you about whether this idea could be successful and actually help you in executing that idea. And the revenue stream there is going to be equity, so we're going to provide them all the resources they need to actually get those small businesses off and running, and in exchange we're going to have an equity in their business, which eventually out of the 50 we start, 1 or 2 become big.
Yeah, let me just give you an overview of how these tie in together, right? Because in terms of little kids, so as we said before, they're focusing now in learning vocabulary, learning to develop more complex ideas. So what we think that this is the right age in which they will be learning the business vocabulary, right? So for the little ones, we will be trying to bring them the business vocabulary, the basic dynamics of trade, the basic dynamics of profit, of revenue, of cost, and everyday economics, right? How do you manage your own finances? How do you spare for the future, right? When it comes to kids, those kids now they're developing more sophisticated ideas that revolve around social interactions. So for them, we'll be talking about strategy, we'll be talking about business simulation, giving them the insights in business management. We'll be coming with the basics of finance and the basics of design. And for the teens, what will be, now that they are trying to individuate, they are ready to learn entrepreneurship, right? This is how they can show who they are, and they can express themselves through creating their own businesses. They will be ready to learn marketing because, you know, they are trying they are creating this idea of image, of added value to the product, and they are ready to learn advanced design. So for each of those customer segments here and value propositions, we have different channels, right? So for kids, it's obvious that they should be learning this more passively through videos and simple games. Then when it comes to the older kids, we have the MOOCs, so they can interact with the other kids through virtual platforms. And then the teens, they will be engaged into incubators where they can build stuff with 3D printers, and, you know, it's more of a fun thing where they can then build stuff that they can later market, right? And I would also like to put some focus here on our partnership. So partnering with schools. The school is the center where we communicate with those kids, how we reach the kids. Government and VCs, they're key partners because government will be one of the main revenue streams. They will provide grants. VCs, we propose them a partnership, where they pay a membership fee, but later they have privileged access to the technology that those kids, the business models that those kids are inventing, and maybe they will in the future become founders of businesses that they will invest on, right? And then there are the other operational aspects that we touched here, but we won't be entering into detail.
All right. Oh.
So to summarize, like, we have given a presentation of our idea and the way we are going to do it and how we think like this model is sustainable. So if you guys have any questions,
call us later.